By some of your appointments, you appear to be creating a parallel civil service. 2020 is not too far away from today. Are we seeing a comeback?
Would you say that HIPIC truly served any purpose?
The debt overhang on the economy of our country was such that the country couldn't bear it.
We've moved more people out of poverty and hunger since 1992 than any other era in the period of Ghana.
Under my watch, the Ghanaian economy picked up.
A legion of youth is being trained in terms of security.
Aging stage of your life is a time you have to plan for.
Death is a universal need.
Persons who would take their lives by suicide may, prior to the act, have given us a lot of information.
I am sufficiently intelligent to know that.
Yes, there's corruption in the Parliament of Ghana.
They make me feel bad.
I should be able to count how many millionaires I've been able to create.
There was only one incubator, and by the time we set up and put her child in, the child was dead.
They run away because they don't want to get married at that early age.
Moomen Tonight, here we don't just talk, we push the talkers to walk the talk.
Moomen.
The BBC deserves the TV license.
Mr. President, I don't know the name is why you came here.
This is my big bro.
From Mondays to Thursdays on BBC News Channel at 8:15 p.m. I'm super excited to welcome you to the show tonight as we focus our attention on land acquisition, land registration, and the new act governing land matters in Ghana. I'm sure that for those of you who are interested in land, you do know about this act, but we'll be telling you more from the professional point of view. And I'm sure that you also do know that one of the most controversial areas, especially as people seek accommodation in the urban areas in particular around the country, has to do with land, its acquisition, its registration, and sometimes even its demarcation. If care is not taken, I mean, over a period of time since time immemorial, what has happened that many wars, many conflicts have erupted as a result of improper handling of land issues. Tonight I engage persons who are professional surveyors here with me in the studio. They are from the Licensed Surveyors Association of Ghana, also known as LISAG, for us to delve into this very, very thorny area. With me in the studio, to my immediate left is Madame, in fact they call them surveyors. So Surveyor Florence Lamte is the secretary of the Licensed Surveyors Association of Ghana, and she joins me on in the studio together with Mr. Samuel Labi. Surveyor Samuel Labi Dakon is the president of LISAG, and he also joins us in the studio. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation here. Mr. Dakon, I'll start the conversation with you because you know, when we talk about land acquisition, there is that perception. I mean, there's two schools of thoughts that nobody ever owns land, whether it's in Accra or in Tamale or in Bolgatanga. That land is only leased to people. I just want to understand the concept of land ownership. In whose hands are lands vested? And then for those of us who are individuals, when we say we have bought land, what exactly does that mean?
Thank you, Mr. Moomen. There's a statement that there's no land without an owner in Ghana and in the world over. But like you said, land is acquired through several means, maybe by conquest, by acquisition or sale or gift,
right,
or maybe settlement, fair settlement. So the person who does it through any of these means, maybe by acquisition, is deemed to be the owner. So I go and settle as the first settler on a virgin land. I develop the land. I say that I am the owner. And then I give it to my children, and then they claim a continuity. It is only when there's nobody to succeed me that there may be somebody can come and take the land when there's no successor. So that's how we define ownership, by clans, by stools, clans, family, and individuals or companies.
But and forgive my ignorance, most documents I've seen, especially here in Accra, they say lease.
Yeah.
And so when they say land has been leased to somebody, and yet you speak to those same persons who are holding the lease document, they tell you, I have bought a land. What's the difference? Maybe Florence might want to come in here.
Yes, thank you very much. When we say lease, lease is you are giving an interest in the land to somebody for a duration. So in Ghana, we know if the person is a national citizen of Ghana, he's entitled to up to 99 years of occupancy, and if the person is a foreigner, it's up to 50 years. So it's for a period. The duration is certain. So that's why we say the land has been leased to you. You are not the allodial owners, that's the family, and that one, they have it forever. And now our laws by the freehold, first we were able to give the allodial owners are able to give land out on freehold basis, that the land becomes yours forever. But now, because with the family, the chiefs and other things, the land, they are there as custodians, or they are there as stewards. So it's for, they said the land is for the ancestors, those who, the past, the present, and the future generation. So when you come in, you have to let that continuity be there. So that's why now, in the wisdom of our leaders, they said, no, we are not giving it out outright, because the land, you have to preserve it for the future generation too. So that's why the law came that, you know, you should now give the lease whole thing, so that at the end of the day, those who also will come, they also have the land back, and they also benefit from it.
So what are the implications that I buy, and I'm using the word advisedly, a plot of land in Accra today, and I invest so much in that land, I build a mansion, hoping that many years later my great-great-grandchildren will come and inherit my property, and when the time comes, the grandchildren of those who sold the land to me will now come and own the land with the property I built. Is that what it is?
Yeah, but in the indenture or the agreement, it is stated as a lease. I think you had it and signed it. A lease is for a fixed duration. That we have in perpetuity, which is the allodial owner. But when you are given a lease, they are giving you a fixed duration to have an interest in that land.
Yes.
So long as you are the lessor, you can say that you own it, because the owner cannot come and interfere in your enjoyment of that property for the period. But at the expiration of the lease, normally they will give you maybe extensible, they will extend it for maybe another 45 years. So most often the indentures will have 99 years and then 45 years. But nowadays it looks like they are reducing the duration. But for foreigners, 50 years. So long as you have signed the indenture and seen that it's 99 years, I mean, it's law. You have agreed to it.
And so you are surveyors by profession. At what point do you become indispensable in the land acquisition process?
I would say that surveyor is a location specialist. That's, I want to use that term advisedly, because we have a space in this. The earth is a space,
right?
And every activity is in a location. So the surveyor's job is to give you the points that locates your property, certain on the face of the earth, fix it. So when somebody says he has bought land and there's a virgin forest, where is my land? It has to be demarcated for you. The surveyor does that. And then since you cannot take the land to your house, like I buy a car, I carry that to my house. So the surveyor now, that's what you call a site plan, surveying, to identify that your plot and fix it for you, put it on paper, and then you carry it home to do the agreement. Without that, there cannot be any agreement. You have to have a certain plan. That is why the current law has about 39 sections speaking on surveying.
So I mean, so you took me to the forest. So let's stay a while longer in the forest. You see that mango tree? From there till you get to that neem tree over there, and then you walk all the way to that pear tree, and then to the aloguntugui tree. That is the demarcation of our plots.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. Okay, so somebody, Florence comes and then doesn't know, she cuts those trees.
And we fight.
Oh.
I'm just responding with the reality on the ground. We fight Florence and her family until they leave, or until they defeat us and we leave. That's what's been going on.
Okay, what about if there's a forest fire?
Okay.
So what do you do?
Then there's a problem.
There's a problem. So that is why you need a technical team to locate every point on the face of the house has what you call coordinate, X, Y, which doesn't change. And any surveyor from any part of the world will come and fix the same point, whether it's a Chinese or he's a Vietnamese. When he gets the coordinates with the right instrumentation, he will get to the same point, though he doesn't even come from Ghana. He will get, any surveyor will get to the same point. That's why it's so critical for surveyors to identify your points for you.
Yes, surveyors, we are very important. We always say that we are the first to go to the land and the last to leave. When you buy a plot of land, as you said, first they showed you that it was from this neem tree to this pawpaw tree. Now you go, then the place has been graded. How will you even locate your plot? So that's where the surveyor come in. So we have to demarcate and show you the boundary. That's why we have pillars that just for to have a delineation of the parcels in the area, so that everybody will know that this part is mine. Then we survey and we get you the cadastral plan. That's where we add, if you are to register it to get your title, land title certificate. That's what you used to do. And even when you are building, for the building to be at the exact places, you have your architect design, give you a plan of the building you want. You need a surveyor to fix it at the right position for you. When you are building the vertical, the horizontal, make sure everything is set. The news we just heard that the story building collapsed or so. If you don't have the surveyor to be giving you the right thing, you just use anybody, maybe something, there will be a problem somewhere.
If a building collapses, how is that the job? How does a surveyor come in? We know that architectural designs and that's what happens at that stage. How do you as surveyors come in?
Let's use the term land surveyor, because
so that's what I want to.
All right.
When it comes to survey, we have land surveyors, we have the valuation and estate surveyors, and we have the quantity surveyors. So the three of us make up survey. Although in Ghana, when you say surveyor, everybody refers to the land surveyor because he's talking about the site plan and everything. Yes, so when we come in to delineate your boundary for you, you start building, that's where you need the quantity surveyor to tell you the type of materials to use. Like they study the area. Okay, in this area, this is the type of material that when you use, it can withstand time or whatever. So that's, and when you are doing this, land surveyor is still there to let you fix it at the right position, the angles and everything, so that you have everything perfect. So we go, and after everything, you have the valuation estate surveyors also coming in to help you in case you want to go for a loan or anything. They have to value it for you, then you take it from there.
I get the differences now, but in respect of land surveyors, and Surveyor Darko used the forest as an example. Now let's move from the forest to the city. Typical Dansoman in Accra or East Legon and all those well-established places. You also have people saying, I'm going to buy a plot of land in these areas. I mean, these are areas that have already been well designed. I mean, not just a single plot has been cut out, but an entire community that you can find a design for that. So somebody goes to buy a plot of land in these well-established areas. How do you come in? Your duty ends in the forest?
No. You know, for planning purposes, there's the town and country plan. Now they call it LUPSA, Land and Special Use Agency or Authority. They are supposed to plan and do what you call a layout of the or planning scheme. So they do a planning scheme of the area. But in order to do it very well, they need to have the topography of the area. Because if he does it from nowhere, he could even design a hospital in a valley or on a stream or in a hill. So the surveyor, that's why she said we go first. Surveyor goes first to measure, or what do you call it, fix the topography, the undulation, where there's a valley, where there's a hill, where there's a river, where there's a rock. So we pick that for the planner. Based on that, and where there's land available, then he will do the planning. He does it on paper, but then the surveyor now goes back to demarcate and say that the hospital is supposed to be from this point to this point, the school will be here, people's plots will be here. Plot number 1, 2, 3, then we pillar, and then so that when you buy a land, we'll go and show you your plot. Some people say my plot number this because it has been demarcated by the surveyor. Otherwise, so if you go to East Legon and you are from, let's say, Tamale, and you come to Accra, somebody tells you I've sold you land. How do you know the place? The person can even take you there, but maybe another time you will not be able to locate your land. But when you have a site plan, any surveyor can take you back to that point exactly.
Talking about any surveyors, can anyone become a surveyor? I mean, can anyone become, whether it's a quantity surveyor, land surveyor, or valuation surveyor? We've seen people duped. We've seen people given wrong directions based on who they were dealing with. Are you aware there are persons who are not necessarily part of your members, probably do not even have the requisite education, but practicing as land surveyors in particular?
Okay, I'll start and then Florence would. What is happening is that in surveying, one person doesn't survey. We need a team. In the team, we have what we call technical assistants. We have technicians. We have the professional, and even we have the laborers. So most of these people who are in the team, in those days, in the gorgeous back time, the surveyor was carried in a palanquin, and people were carrying his machines and instruments behind him. So some of these people would now, having been with the surveyor, think that they know surveying. But to become a surveyor, you have to have, there are 3 levels. We have what you call the certificate holder. They go to the survey school. There's a school at the survey mapping division, which is called survey school. They get certificate in surveying. Then there's the diploma holders. Initially it was run at the University of Science and Technology, but now it's at the survey mapping school. Then there's the graduate surveyor. So graduate surveyor is the professional. And then when you have graduated from the university with a degree, bachelor's degree in surveying, you join what we call the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, that the three together. And after 5 years, you now can apply to get a license to practice cadastral surveying. Cadastral surveying has to do with land administration, land, because that's not the only branch of surveying. We have hydrographic surveying, we have topography, we have remote sensing, we have geographic information. There are so many photogrammetry surveying, but cadastral is a legal survey, boundary survey. So you have to be licensed by the authority who has been mandated to do that, which is the Survey and Mapping Division. So they license qualified surveyors to do it on their behalf. That's why we call licensed surveyors. But there are also graduate surveyors who know surveying, but they haven't had the requisite experience, like 5 years. They are also surveying. They are not quacks, but they are not licensed. But there are also those maybe from the survey school, those from the certificate, they are also practicing. Maybe they're not licensed, but they are. The problem is when they don't work under a licensed surveyor, then it creates a problem. But there are those who don't have what they call these qualifications, but because they followed a surveyor, they think they know. They are creating big problem for us in Ghana. Yeah, and those are the people that we have to look for, and maybe.
No, so when you talk about those, before we even get to the ones you would necessarily describe as quacks, when you talk about those who are not licensed and yet are not quacks, that leaves me a bit confused. So they're not licensed and yet they are not quacks. What are they?
You know, when you look at the Act, it made mention of the official surveyor. So the official, when they said official surveyor, is the surveyors who work with the Survey and Mapping Division of the Lands Commission. Then the licensed surveyors, so those surveyors who the Lands Commission licensed to work on their behalf. So those who are not licensed, like they've gone to school, they finish with us, but they are per law, they are supposed to work with the licensed surveyors. So they are part of our team, but when anything happens, it's the licensed surveyor who will be held responsible. So they work under us. That's why we always advocate that when you have problem concerning cadastral surveying, contact the licensed surveyors. So they will they and their team will go and help do the thing. But when you go to any of the surveyors that we mentioned, and without contacting the licensed surveyor, when there is a problem, who are you going to fall on? Because the person by law is not even supposed to practice cadastral surveying. So
therefore, he's quack. You know, like she said, the person is working with the Survey and Mapping Division.
And that's the official.
That's official surveyor. He can also do cadastral surveying. But so there are two people who can practice. That's the official surveyor and the licensed surveyor. But what we are saying is there are graduates who are not working in government, who are not working with licensed surveyor.
Right.
But because they think they have learnt the profession, so they are practicing. I don't know whether we could call them quack because they know their job, but they are not licensed. So maybe you can talk about, because most of them will now get the experience as they practice. Then they can now come and apply for license.
So maybe the best thing, the best thing for you to do is when you get, you have to make sure, ask the person whether you're a surveyor. Have you had a requisite qualification for that? Okay, I'm a surveyor. I finished maybe KNUST or whatever. So which licensed surveyor are you working with?
Under.
Okay.
So you ask that question.
So even where they are not licensed, they must be working under a licensed surveyor.
Yes.
And so, our viewers watching right now,
yes.
So I merely ask you, and you say, oh, I work with, and your company is Lusa Mills. So I work with Lusa Mills.
Yes.
But anybody could say I work with Lusa Mills Consult. How do I verify?
Now we have we do calendar and all the numbers of the licensed surveyors, and the company we publish the companies in the institution so that their numbers are there. if the guy says he's working with low summers, then you can call. I had an experience with I was the panel chair for Ghana Institute of Engineering. I'm a member, and I chair the surveyors interview to admit members. Right. Somebody came and sat before me, MD, owner of Los Amos, and said he works in Los Amos. Yes.
Okay, but he didn't know you?
He didn't know me. I said, my friend, where do you work? He says he works. Then finally, he now had to reach. He says, oh, he worked with some of my staff. You see, so that is it. People are saying things which are not true. But that is why you should be able to, we want to publicize to the public to verify from the Licensed Surveyors Association or from the Ghana Institution of Surveyors website where the companies are. If it's a company, we publish it in the Ghana Institution of Surveyors website in the dailies. And if it's Licensed Surveyors Association, we publish it in the calendar. So you can always call and then verify. Because surveying, if it's not properly done, can bring war, create fight, war. You know that.
I know.
One foot can create war.
Wow. All right. So now let's talk about the quacks. What about them? You know about their existence. Lawyers will not take kindly to anybody who presents himself in court as a lawyer when he's not qualified to do so. They descend heavily on such persons. I'm sure all of us in medicine will go mad, so to speak, were we to identify that the man who gave you paracetamol and attempted a surgery on you was not licensed to do so, and so on and so forth. You are surveyors, professional surveyors. They are infiltrators. You're not concerned, are you?
We are. We are, because we want we want the good of the citizens. We don't want a case that when it comes to acquiring a property, it becomes a burden. And we all know that once your land acquisition process, everything is good, it helps in the building of a nation. So as professionals in this business, we are very worried. That's why we always have programs like this to educate the citizens to know which methods or processes to follow when they are acquiring land. And fortunately for us too, the Land Acts 2020 have punishment for these quacks, which now puts fear in them to do, and that's why the advocacy and everything is going on. We want citizens to have that free will to walk into Land Commission. We now have CSAUs. Feel free to walk in there and ask anything concerning land, and there are always people there to help you, so that you go the right way. Don't just see somebody and say the person is a surveyor. No, go to the office, go and ask. Licensed Surveyors Association, our office at Asylum Down. You can walk in there. I need a surveyor, licensed surveyor. I have this problem, and they will give you somebody. We have a platform that will put. There's a job in this area who is available to do, and because we want the citizens to have their peace of mind when it comes to land acquisition.
Let me give you a scenario, something that happened. I was working at the survey department before I went out. So I had a guy who was a cleaner. He was the guy who was cleaning our office. Then I traveled to do the master's degree. When I came back, I heard that the guy was a big-time surveyor.
Within how many years?
Having cars. Oh, the guy has vehicles. He's representing a chief. Then he now comes to the department to employ the young guys to go and do the work. Because he has want to misrepresent himself as a surveyor to the chief. Because he works at the survey department. So some of these things, that's why we are doing advocacy. The chiefs or the landowning groups should verify anybody who comes to them to say that it's a surveyor. Because I'm telling you, a cleaner, went out and became a big surveyor. He hadn't stepped in classroom before. But because he was associated with surveyors and worked at survey department, he presented himself as a surveyor. And they believed him and gave him a big job.
Wow.
Yeah. So
and now that you are president of the Licensed Surveyors Association of Ghana, you know about this case.
Yes.
What have you done about it?
Oh no, it's a long time ago.
Okay.
I just became president.
what we want to do, our doors are open to the chiefs, the kings, the landowners. In case you have a plot of land there, even the finances to even, because you have to survey your land, register it in your name before you can freely give out. So our doors are open. We can help you, even if we have to. They will come into an agreement, help you maybe with financially, whatever, for you to have your peace of mind, and also for the citizens to also have that peace of mind when they acquire from you.
A number of my viewers have very similar questions. I'll read a few of them out because they're very, very similar. A.C. Hammond says, good evening, Moomen. Many Ghanaians avoid the services of these surveyors because they are very expensive. Then Opoku Mensa Yaboa says, Moomen, good evening to you and your panelists. I have tried using surveyors in the past, but truth is sometimes their cost is unreasonable. I mean, you're talking about their charges. Okay, and then this one just came in from Peggy Amadonko. She says, people, please, are they not expensive? Hence, people using the roadside surveyor and so on and so forth. So that's a major concern that many of
that is a very good point, because everybody is saying it, and it is not true at all. Moomen, let me ask you, maybe you buy land at East Legon, let's say $100,000. Then you come to me or to Florence to go and do your one plot for you. The maximum that Florence can charge you is maybe 500 cedis. You have bought land for $100,000. And me, with all my degrees and things, with instrumentation, surveyors, we are a profession which instruments, we have instruments that are very expensive. One GPS is $30,000, $40,000. And you don't go alone, you have to go with a team. So if I charge $1,500 cedis, or sometimes 700 to 1,500 cedis for a plot, how does it become expensive? I don't know why people are saying that. At me, giving my own will, I will even say that it should be a percentage of the cost of the land, because without my service, you cannot look into your land, you cannot do indenture, you cannot do anything. But we have a scale of fees determined and by the institution, and we are charging 1,000. I think maximum is 1,500 for a plot of land. How does it become too expensive? When you go and buy land, $50,000, $100,000, $1 million, and I take 1,000, which is less than $200, and you say it's expensive. I think it's not fair to us.
Okay.
Yes. Let's take it like this. You engage a quack to do it, and tomorrow there's a dispute on the land. Just look at how much time you spend going to court. You engage in a lawyer and things. So it's good to, you know, when you go buying quality things helps you at least to get your peace of mind. And our charges are not expensive
at all.
They are not.
Okay, Prince Ishen says, I'm watching you from Cape Coast. I have a problem with surveyors. They'll survey and certify for one owner, and then at another time, because of money, the same surveyor will do it for a different person. Ask them if they know about this.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Go first.
Moomen, maybe the answer I will give him, having a site land does not confirm title to the owner. Because like we always say, if someone comes to you that I'm selling this piece of land, you have to get a surveyor to go and survey and use that plan to make a search to make sure whether the land, the one selling it to you, is the rightful owner. So what if you went and maybe after everything, you got to know that is the owner, but the money the cost involved, you couldn't pay. You've not bought the land, you've not registered. So tomorrow the owner can go with another person, and the person will go through the same processes. So you getting the plan and you not registering it doesn't make you an owner. That's why we always say that once you get it, follow the process. Make sure you have registered if the area is a land title, a certificate declared area. Make sure you go.
So the person's question is, yes, maybe you want to come in
let
here.
me add, because the question is, two surveyors came to do the same land. That's
no one surveyor,
the same person.
Yes, doing for two different people.
Oh, doing for two different. Okay, then maybe what she said.
Because
but you see, if you look at our site plan, we see that this plan is prepared according to laws as shown to me by my client. We don't know your land. You come to me and you tell me that I have 1 acre here, so can you demarcate for me? Or you show me. So as shown to me by my client, if my client shows me the same land as and I remember though I've already been here, I'll tell the person that I've been here. But sometimes the person has not bought it.
The first person didn't buy the land. Another person can also engage my services.
So you breach no ethical codes as surveyors if you do it for 10 people.
Yes,
not at all.
You are interested in the money. You're not going to inform
if the same land.
Yes,
I will tell the person that this land has already been surveyed by me.
Yeah.
But if it's another surveyor, he doesn't know. Maybe another surveyor. No one surveyor.
But the person says, go ahead, do it for me. You have surveyed the place already. You've used your GPS instruments and everything. Are you just going to then forward the documents you have generated already to this next person, or are you going to set up your instruments again and take new coordinates?
That's why I'm saying that nobody will do the same thing twice. I don't think it's right. Maybe there is not a qualified surveyor. A qualified surveyor would know that he has already surveyed this thing. Like I told you, there's coordinate for every point which cannot be changed. So he will immediately go to the system. He gets to the line. So by this line, I have already been here. He will check and he says, I've already done this survey. And he puts pillars, like you said. Oh, I put these pillars for this person, so I cannot do it again for you. But if it's another surveyor, he doesn't know. He didn't know that somebody has done it. If he sees the pillars, he can say, oh, they're pillars, but the person can say that that person is selling to me. Then I have to do it for him. So there's nothing wrong for me. Another person doing the same thing for another surveyor, there's a possibility of selling. When he sells to you, you have to, like for instance, you have to get the site plan to go and do a search whether it belongs to the person or not. So there's always the possibility that another surveyor can come and do the same thing, but not the same person who did it the first time.
Okay, so you just mentioned, yes, Florence, you might want to come in, yes.
Back to doing it for another person, maybe you bought it and you are giving it out to somebody, or and even if you are supposed to do it again, you've gone to survey the place, you have the coordinates and everything. But if I have to change from my name to your name, I have to go through the process. I'll pay and everything. So, but the cost will not be like I'm entering the place first. I'll take money because now it's change of name and have to pay for all the costs associated with it. Yes.
Justice Apia from Pokwa says, Moomen, please ask your guests what the processes are when one wants to do a search. You just mentioned search as well. Yes.
So, like I said, when you buy land, you cannot carry the land to your house. So, land, as I said, is fixed in space. You only determine it by a survey. So, I'll produce a plan for you. So, you take that plan to the Lands Commission to see whether there's a registration on it. If the Land Commission has already registered for somebody, because immediately they put a plan, it will move them to exactly where that thing is in space, and they will tell you it's for Florence. So if you're buying from Florence, then you don't have a problem. But if Florence's name is there and the Moomen tells you that it's the owner, then there's a question, it's a buyer beware. So then you have to ask, and why it moved from Florence to Moomen. So you have to now investigate. That is why it is important that you don't pay for land until you have paid for a survey, which is cheaper 1,500 or 2 than to go and pay 100,000 cedis to the landowner and later on come to find out that the land doesn't belong to you. You have to get your money, you have to go to court. Pay that small money and verify. I think that's the best thing. So when you have done that, now the law is also encouraging what we call customary land secretariat. So you can also go to the customary land secretariat and also check first if there's no information at the Lands Commission. Because there are some places you go, they say there's no transaction. Because nobody has registered that portion in the government circle, so there's no transaction. But the owners, they know, so you can also go to the traditional area to ask whether that place belongs to somebody. Yeah.
Okay. Somebody, you want to ask something?
Yeah, thankfully with the search we are now doing the consolidated one. So when you go and present your plan, they tell you everything on the land, whether the people who have done gone to the survey and mapping division for them to have the plan of the area, those who started the process, registration, abandoned it on the way, so the final person who has the authority to sell the land. So it gives you all the division. We know Lands Commission have a survey and mapping division, a public invested land division, then the land registration division. Okay. First we used to do it separately. Now they are making, I think we started
October. Consolidated.
Yes, consolidated. So every information the 3 divisions has on the land will be given to you, so that will inform you too.
And it's only by a plan. You need a plan to do. You need a site plan from the license.
Wow. Okay. So this person says, my name is Sonny Atawini. I'm watching you from Asawasi in Kumasi. Thank you very much. Please ask your guests. They have been talking about going to the Lands Commission. Are they aware about the numerous frustrations people face when they go to the Lands Commission to genuinely seek this kind of information?
The Vice President and I think identifies some of these problems. That's why he's doing what you call digital digitizing the Lands Commission, so that when it is done through, which they are already done, you can even sit it at the comfort of your home and do a search. So you don't have to go through a third person. You can just, that is why you also need a surveyor, because you can use the coordinates then to identify the land and do a search and get a report. It depends. People also do what they call window search. Instead of putting in an official search, they go and see somebody to just do a search for them. That can also create a problem, because the person might not, because he's doing it unofficially, might mistakenly take the wrong layout to do the search for you. So you have to do official search. And I think there's a 1 month or 2 weeks something timeline. But now with this digitization, things are going to be easier. You can sit on your laptop and do a search.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
So, but there's a new Land Act. What does it bring on board? What's different about this? Ghana, we have a lot of laws, very little enforcement.
That has been the problem with Ghana. The depth of enforcing the laws. But then there were so many laws on land. But this act consolidates all into one act. That's what they call the Land Act, by repealing a lot of laws and then substituting them. And then there was a broad consultation before it was enacted. Now, as I said, there are about 39 sections speaking on surveying. But the most important, 2 most important ones I want us to know is that the law is saying that without a plan, no chief or landowner can sell land, because you have to produce a plan of your land and get it registered before you can begin to sell, and even get a layout prepared before you can begin to sell. So it is the step in the right direction, because now people don't know their boundary. There was a project we were doing, customary land boundary demarcation. So I go to a chief and say, where is your land? You see that there have been overlaps. This man says, this is my land, and another person will come in. So the government wants us to, the chiefs, to tell us their land, survey it, and that it stays there, and it's for them because it is demarcated for them, registered for them. The second one is that in a court, when you go to court, you have to present a cadastral plan. The judge, when he has given a judgment, because there are instances people say, oh, it was only 2 acres, but now the person has blown it to 20 acres. I think you have heard those
yes, several times, yes.
It's blown to 20 acres, it's blown to 200 acres. So now the law says that when the judge gives a judgment, there should be a cadastral plan. The judge should stamp the owners who are selling, the one granting and the one being granted should sign at the back of the site plan, and then after the judgment, a judge should also sign and stamp that this is the size of the land and this is the land and the location that I adjudicated on. So that one now, Chris, there's no possibility for people to go and do those blowing and things. So I think, and there are so many other things that this law has brought which will help in land administration.
So you have said that without a plan, no chief can sell a land.
Yes.
How do you enforce this kind of law? But I don't know the extent to which your association, for example, has eyes all across the country. Does this law apply only to Accra or maybe Kumasi? Is it a national law? If it is a national law, how are you keeping an eye on Bunkurugu Yonyo, on Paga and in Axim and other places where there are chiefs who really may not even know about this law? Until we started having a discussion about this, I didn't know that there was a new law. How extensive has the message traveled out there that there is a new dispensation?
We are doing well in that regard. We have regional land officers across the regions who have been charged to go to radio stations in the area, the TV station, everywhere to let citizens know their rights concerning this law. And I like the first point he made about not selling land. You know, the one who sent a message that the frustration, sometimes it's not about lands commission. The one selling the land to you have not even registered it. So on what basis do I stand to even register it for you? So now we have to go back to the owners for them to come and register, and if they don't have money to register, it's also a problem. That's why we are calling them. The licensed surveyors are ever ready to partner with them so that we ensure that all their boundaries are well demarcated and serviced so that they can add value to their land.
In fact, we plan as executives to visit the House of Chiefs to educate them on this new requirement of the law, because they, and not only the landowners, maybe families, clans, and so it's in our program to do this advocacy. Like some of these things we are doing will help people to, like people are calling in, but I think we have to physically also go to those places to explain the law to them, that they have to get qualified surveyors to do their boundaries for them before they can register and before they can sell. It's a very serious thing.
So what happens to recalcitrant chiefs? There are chiefs, yes, they know about this law. That is the money they want, and following the law will mean that you have to wait weeks, months, sometimes maybe even years for the proper thing to be done. The law in Ghana acts very slowly.
Government in taking care of that has waived the duties for first registration. Like you have to pay stamp duty based on the value of your land, 2% of the value of your. So if I have, let's say, 100,000 acres land as a family, and 2% might be 1 million cedis. I don't have. But government says to facilitate this, the law says they should waive the first registration for the families. So all the families will have to do is to engage the right surveyor. And like foreign said, we licensed surveyors, we are prepared even to be paid by land, or even to fund it for you, so that you can now go and register, and then you can begin to sell.
No, I don't understand the point. You are prepared to be paid by land.
Yeah, say you have 100,000 acres.
Yes.
I do the land for you. Maybe I have to charge you maybe 20,000. I'm just giving an example. So you don't have 20,000, but you have the land. So I can say that, okay, then give me land worth 20,000 for me as a payment. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
All right.
So that I do it for you. So you don't pay me money.
Oh, okay. I get the point now.
Yeah.
But my question on recalcitrant errant chiefs has not been answered.
I have to come there.
That's a very possible scenario.
There are offenses in the act, I think section 277. There are offenses that if a chief does not do that, there are penalties and terms for the person. So that is why we have to educate them to know that there are consequences for doing that. The law also prescribes punishment for people who don't follow the law.
Okay. Again, Peggy wants to know, it says, what of the regions? Do we have LISAG members across the country, or are they just based in Accra?
We have a regional presence. We have regional coordinators in the 10 previous regions. But now we're going to expand it to 16. We have regional coordinators who are coordinating activities and the members in the region. Yeah, so we have a presence.
All right, we have about 7 minutes more, and within those 7 minutes, what I'm going to do is just allow the two of you, because you're from the Association of Licensed Surveyors of Ghana, to talk to your members, number one, but also to the general public on the issues that you consider as priority, even as you begin this drive of drawing people's attention to the new Land Act and what changes it brings and what the benefits of those changes will be. I might want to start with you, since you are the president.
Okay. To our members, we have had problems with what you said, people signing plans for a pittance. So somebody, like you said, if the quacks were not getting plans signed, there would not have been any quack. But somebody, instead of maybe going to the fields, will be in a place and people will bring and who sign. So we are encouraging our people not to do that. Because if you, let's say the person takes even 500 cities and then he comes to give you 20 cities or 50 cities, it's an insult. So we are encouraging our people to form companies. We are going to help them to form companies to employ qualified, like people from school, to do the right thing for them, so that we don't have this quackery in the system. So we are encouraging them, even those who are not well, we will help them to form companies and employ the graduates from some schools, from university, to work for them. That is the first thing. And we're also talking about their welfare, so that they will be well taken care of. We want us to, we are thinking of assigning, if possible, licensed surveyors to land-owning groups that foreigners in charge of Moomen lands. So that we know that for everything you can go to foreigners. So those are some of the things we want to do, so that you know that the chiefs will be assured that they will have somebody to be working for them. Right. So
Florence might want to add something as we wrap up.
Our members, as our service, our motto says, that service with integrity. And anything that we do, we should have the citizens at heart. We have to make sure we do the right thing and help them to have a peaceful land transaction. And we encourage members, please, our services are there. We are there to help you, and don't just go pay money when someone comes to you that I have a land I want to sell. You have to ask so many questions. Engage a qualified surveyor, let them go and pick it, go to Lands Commission for the search. Make sure he is the rightful owner before you make any payment, so that there will be peace on the land.
Okay, so there were some other questions coming my way. I wanted to ignore them because from where I said thought they were not as important in respect of what we are discussing. But this person says, Joseph Lamino, he says, Moomen, ask your guests if they are aware of digging fee. All this conversation you are having, how is it going to end digging fee? For me, that is my problem. That's his problem. What's digging fee? Are you aware? And you are land surveyors.
Yeah, digging fee, I know. Because you buy land and then some langars come to the area that, okay, though you say that before we allow you to dig, give us something. Or some of the family members. So it's an illegality, which, okay, it doesn't have anything to do with surveillance, but it's something that is happening. An illegality. People are finding means to get illegal money. So they will come and tell you that I've had that experience myself, so I know. They will come, give us the game fee, otherwise we will not allow you. And it could be langars, it could be some referrals from the area doing that.
So digging fee is nothing official.
It's not just official at all. It doesn't have anything official.
Yes, Lamino. That is it. Thank you for your question, but it has nothing to do, and that's why really I said I wanted to ignore, but still it's important that you clarify that it has nothing to do with land surveyors. So as we prepare to go, your members directly, now you can speak to them in 1 minute, then we go.
Oh, our members, like Florence said, we are a profession that when we do proper work, we'll create peace, no fight, and then everybody will be happy. So we want everybody to service with integrity, to do the right thing, get the right instrumentation, get the right stuff, and do the right thing so that you will not encourage the quacks to spoil our name.
Thank you so very much. This has been a very educative conversation we've had tonight on the land acquisition, the role of the land surveyor, and those with me in the studio, Surveyor Florence Lamte, Secretary of LISAG, the Licensed Surveyors Association of Ghana, and Surveyor Samuel Labi Dakon, who is the president of LISAG as well. Lady and gentlemen, very grateful to you, but more especially to you out there for making time to send us all those messages both on WhatsApp and on Facebook. We apologize to those whose messages we couldn't read. Continue sending them in even as the week progresses. We'll be back here tomorrow with another edition of Moomen Tonight. Have a good night.
I don't know whether we give our number.
When the voices that matter speak, they speak to GBC. They speak on Moomen Tonight.
By some of your appointments, you appear to be creating a parallel civil service. 2020 is not too far away from today. Are we seeing a comeback?
Would you say that HEPIC truly served any purpose? The debt overhang on the economy of our country was such that the country couldn't bear it.
We've moved more people out of poverty and hunger since 1992 than any other era in the period of Ghana.
Under my watch, the Ghanaian economy picked up.
A legion of youth is being trained in terms of security.
Aging stage of your life is a time you have to plan for.
Death is a universal need.
Persons who will take their lives by suicide may, prior to the act, have given us a lot of information.
I am sufficiently intelligent to know that.
Yes, there's corruption in the Parliament of Ghana.
They make me feel bad.
Not departed from our core principles.
I should be able to count how many millionaires I've been able to create.
There was only one incubator, and by the time we set up and put her child in, the child was dead.
They run away because they don't want to get married at that early age.
Moomen Tonight, here we don't just talk, we push the talkers to walk the talk.
Maybe the GBC deserves the TV license.
Mr. President, I don't think your name is why you came here.
This is my big bro.
From Mondays to Thursdays on GBC News Channel at 8:15 p.m.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than what us here at that time of the morning?
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast,
on-site restaurant,
or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
with a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
As waste is generated every day, we have an obligation to keep our environment clean every day. We have to do so daily and not on a monthly basis. Every day is sanitation day.
According to NC, Osei Anope Abesra, if you know, don't you see? I'm a young man. Maximum say, we are more a TV anymore. That's the money be a better.
You can make your money, but clean Ghana first.
Cleanliness is next to godliness,
What are you selling, mommy? Food or garbage?
Oh, bruh.
If you sell food in a dirty environment, no one should buy.
No excuses. Be a good citizen. Keep a clean surrounding.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
And all GBC regional stations and on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, and a repeat on the same day at 11 p.m. on GTV. Focus, putting the issues in perspective.